Good
Okay.
afternoon and welcome to the North Fork Foodie Tour webinar, How to Taste Wine Like a Pro. My name is Carol Brown. I'm the host for RGNY Wines, led by Lilia Perez. Lilia is RGNY's resident winemaker. Born in Sacramento, California to Mexican citizens, the family moved back to their native country following her father's graduation from UC Davis when she was 2. Serving as Lilia's biggest influence, her father, a doctoral agronomist, fostered her love for agricultural production by instilling in his daughter his passion for wine and winemaking. Lilia began her career at the Mexican Wine Council, where she gained hands-on field experience. After 2.5 years with the council, learning both the commercial and production aspects of the business, she received her diploma in viniculture from UC Davis. 7 years ago, Lilia was hired as a Rivero Gonzalez brand manager, promoting and positioning the heritage brand in Mexico City and surrounding territories. After 2 years, her thirst for knowledge led her to Bordeaux on behalf of the RG brand, where she would receive a Master's of Business and Science in Vineyard and Winery Management. In addition to her studies, she worked with many of the Grand Cru Classé Chateaux, learning premium winemaking practices with a focus on quality. 2 years ago, Lilia was tapped to help the Rivero Gonzalez family launch the brand's expansion into New York as its lead winemaker, her first experience in this prominent position. Lilia will be happy to answer your questions. I will be looking at your questions, and if it's a timely question, she will get them at that time. At the end, there will be a 10-minute Q&A. As you know, there's no charge for logging into any of the Foodie Tour videos or webinars, but we hope that you consider making a donation. Thank you, and welcome, Lilia.
Thank you. How are you, Carol?
I'm fine. And welcome to the 17 plus attendees on our webinar.
Yes, welcome everybody. Hi. Well, Carol, you already introduced me a little bit, so thank you for that. Again, I'm Lilia Perez. I'm here, the head winemaker at RGNY. As you said, I had my background is mainly in Bordeaux and have almost 11 years in the experience in the industry, in the wine industry field. So I keep learning, I keep improving on the wines, excited for new projects. So I accepted this opportunity of coming to New York, to Long Island to experiment, and I've been here for 3 years now since the new ownership. This property used to be Martha Clara Vineyards, for maybe many people knows. Since 2018, it's new ownership, Mexicans who own a winery also in Mexico. In the north part of Mexico, it's called Rivero Gonzalez. That it's because of the last name of the family, so that's what RG stands of. It's RGNY for New York, right? Well, they've been in the market in Mexico for 20 years, and they came here 2018 with the idea of improving the wine quality in this property and offer experiences based on learning about wine and going back home with a nice experience and knowledge, right? So I'm excited to be part of the project. It's a big property. It's a 105-acre property. We have 87 acres of vineyard in actual production, and we recently planted 7 acres last year. We have 14 different grape varieties, 7 whites and 7 reds. We have Chardonnay, Riesling, Sauvignon Blanc, Semillon, Gewürztraminer, Viognier, Pinot Gris, and then we have on the reds, we have Merlot, Cabernet Franc, Cabernet Sauvignon, Petit Verdot, Malbec, lots of grape varieties to experiment. We don't do We don't use all of them for our wines. We sell a lot of fruit. Currently, we're producing about half of, like turning into wine, about half of our grape production, and then the rest we sell it. When I first got here in 2018, I dedicated the first months just to do some research around the region, visit wineries, talk to winemakers, to vineyard managers, see what we could do best, taste the wines. And so that's how we got to our final selection on, if you go to our red page, you would see all our different wines. But I wanted to produce what I thought we could do best, right? Grapes that we can grow in the region with good quality, and make wines out of it with good quality too. No? So for today, I selected 3 of the wines that I like the most. This is the Cielo line. We have 2 different lines. The standard one, which is the Cielo, you differentiate them by this label with the kind of like the stars. Cielo in Spanish means sky, but cielo with an S, because you would write it without an S in Spanish, right? With an S means that it's a little bit more. It's more like heaven instead of only sky, right? So if you drink the whole bottle, you will be in heaven, right? So that's part of what the fun story about the labels, right? So you'll be tasting the Cielo line. We're going to be tasting Chardonnay, Rosette, and Cielo Tinto 2018, the 3 of them. Okay, so this was my first batch, my first production. And what else I can tell you? We're so excited with 2018. I just gained actually 2 medals in these 2 wines, Chardonnay and Cielo Tinto in California, Sommelier's Choice Award. So I'm excited to present these wines today because I just knew that on Friday. So you'll be tasting, hopefully all of you have the wines at home and can taste them, and if you can come to our tasting room, no? And taste them. So the activity, Carol, as you were saying, it's going to be how to taste wine like a pro, no? So I'm going to show you kind of like a technique that I like to taste my wines. At first, maybe you will do it slowly and concentrated, and then you become just a pro. So that's the idea. I will show you the 4 steps to taste the wine, and then you can go take notes with me, and then by the 3rd wine, maybe we'll be better, no, on it. So, so this is called the 4 S's technique. You have actually, I think you send them, Carol, the material, right? Mm-hmm. You may have this card there that says how to taste wine like a pro, and it comes with 4 steps.
That would have been Ellen, and I hope the answer is yes.
Oh, okay. Well, in case not, anyway, I'm going to explain, but it will be fun if you have all the material, right? Mm-hmm. So how to taste wine like a pro? You see in this sheet here. There's 4 steps. Let's take a little bit of the Chardonnay. Please open your bottle of the Chardonnay, and we can go step by step together. Okay. So 4 steps, the 4 S's technique. I always say that tasting a wine is like going step by step, getting to know someone like the first date, right? You first see him or see her, and then you want to, like, maybe it has perfume and you smell it, and then you want to taste it, right? Like kind of know him or her better, right? So it's the wine, for me, it's like the same metaphor, right? Like you see the wine. If you like it, then you will smell it. And then if you smell it and you like it, you want to drink it. So this is the 4 steps. You see the wine, then you swirl it. I'm going to explain it step by step, but just fast is you see it, you swirl to release aromas, then you smell, and then you drink. Okay? So let's go step by step. You see the wine. To see your wine, please make sure to have something white as a background, like a napkin can be, like me here. But so you can see the color better, and be sure you are in a room with enough light so you can appreciate the color better, okay? So you're gonna tilt your glass like this, take the background like this, and so you see better the color. You wanna see the color first to see if it's a white, a rosé, or a red, which is very simple, right? And then if it's a white, you want to analyze the color in order to know if that one is young or it's been aged a while or it's older, right? So the more transparent or brighter the color is, more clear, the younger the wine. In case you can see more like a golden color or brownish, more like oxidized, it gives you an idea that it's an older wine, okay? Or it's been aged for a longer time. That's for a white. In case of a red wine, the lighter, again, the red color or the purple, more bright color, the younger. In case you see a little bit more brownish or like garnet or like a brick color, then it gives you an idea of an older wine, okay? So in this case, with the Chardonnay, you can see a little bit like very, very clear, like a golden yellow, okay? This wine has not been, it's not old, it's only 2 years, but has been aged a little bit in barrels, so that gives you a little bit more like stronger yellow color, okay? But it's still very light. You can see that it's a young wine. Now, you want to see if it's clear, there's no bubbles, sediments. That's what you analyze when you see the wine, okay? Then you go to the let's go to this second step before swirling like glass, okay? You go to your navel here, you bring the glass here, and it's gonna analyze just the intensity without swirling the glass first. So you smell from here, and if you get any aromas, then it's a high intensity aroma wine, okay? I almost don't smell anything. So I bring it to my chin and see if this wine, it's a medium intensity aroma wine. I can definitely smell something from there. But if I bring it to my nose, there's of course more and more aromas, okay? So it's definitely like medium to low aroma intensity wine. And now we're gonna swirl our glass, which is the actual second step, no? So you can do it like this, like me, or you can do it in the table, just not to cause any accidents. Especially with red wines, we don't want to spit it all over, okay? And you can see the difference now when you smell it. There's much more aromas, right, that come out of the glass. So let's think about what can we smell, just first impression. We don't analyze too much. And you should have another card, which is the tasting notes card. I don't know if it's clear here, but it has like these steps where you can write what you see, what you smell, or what you taste. We have another card, which is the aroma wheel. This other card is helpful because sometimes we are like, I smell something, but I'm not sure. It's kind of fruity, but I'm not sure what type of fruit. Or sometimes it smells like citrus, but is that orange or grapefruit, or like we're not sure. So this aroma wheel helps you a lot, so you can categorize. Okay, I see I smell fruit, but what type of fruit? Is that berry or citrus or tropical? So you can start like getting an idea of what you can smell there. Smell is very, very particular. Everyone has its own olfactive memory. What I mean with this is like maybe you can smell, you've been used to like all your life eat a green apple, but maybe I never saw a green apple in my life. So of course I don't know the smell, so won't find it here, right? So it's very, very personal. Definitely each grape variety has its own characteristics. So for sure we may agree on some of the aromas, but there's a specific aromas that will be part of like our own experience, okay? So these two cards will help you a lot to take note there. So maybe you can smell fruit, there's citrus, and there's actually some ideas that are like lemon, lime, grapefruit, or in this case, for example, there's apple. I can definitely smell apple in the Chardonnay. And there's also a little bit of these like secondary aromas that come from the fermentation process that are like dry nuts, like some almonds or some like pecans. Okay, so it's personal, but you can write it down. Now let's go to the fourth step, which is the tasting, right? We already smell, which is third, and let's go to taste it. To taste the wine, first take a little sip. You take that little sip and you pass it all over your palate as if you were washing your teeth, like really like do this effect to clean very good your mouth. So you do like this. Okay? So that's the first sip. So we're not gonna judge that sip because maybe we ate something before or we drank another wine. So it's gonna be like a mix of flavors there. So we actually are gonna evaluate the second sip. So we go for the second and we do exactly the same thing, but we're gonna analyze more things. In this step, we're gonna see, and as you see in your card, we're gonna check the sweetness or the fruitiness, the acidity, the alcohol level, the mouthfeel, like the tannins, which is in this case whites, we don't find any tannins, and how long the finish is, okay? So I will go by steps. So the sweetness. The sweetness is, you can feel it with how fruity. It's not really like sugar that you will feel there, but if you feel lots of fruity aromas, okay? Then the acidity. The acidity is when you are like salivating a lot, you can see that it gives you an idea that it's a more acidic wine, okay? Or higher acid wine, which happens more on whites than on reds, okay? So you can actually put the notes there, like sweetness. Does it dries out your mouth? Seems like there's little sugar, tastes like candy. Or the acidity, like sucking on a lemon, delightfully crisp, or not acidic at all, no? So you can write it down there. For in my case, I feel there's tastes, it dries out my mouth, but there's definitely some like fruitiness. It's not sugar, because it's not, there's no sugar here. It's a completely dry wine, but there's fruit for sure, no? But it dries out my mouth. The acidity, it's delightfully crisp in my case, what I feel, okay? It's a very smooth wine. And you can go and drink it as many times as you want just to evaluate what you feel, okay? This is a very light wine, easy to drink. It's a Chardonnay, almost no oak, but I put like 20% of the malolactic fermentation, which gives you this like elegant mouthfeel and nice finish. And I did put 2% of barrel, which gives like this nice color and this like a nutty aromas too. Okay, so that's it. That's a Chardonnay. I personally don't like Chardonnays with very oaky aromas or flavors, so I decided to do this wine almost all stainless steel, which gives me the opportunity to show more fruity aromas and just give this complexity with a little of the malolactic fermentation and barrel. Okay, so that's Chardonnay. Any questions so far? I don't want to.
Not yet.
Okay. Sounds good. So, well, that was the 4S's technique. Again, it's see, swirl, smell, and sip. Okay, so the 4S's technique. Now we can go with the second one, which is the Rosette. So this Rosé, it's made out of 3 grapes, the Merlot, Malbec, and Cabernet Franc. My first plan was doing Merlot with Cabernet Franc, and then at the end, which is part of like every year's situation, either the weather helps on getting more like a nicer fruit or worse fruit, and that year Malbec was perfect to do a rosé. It was not my plan, but then when I tasted in the vineyard, I said that it could be good to do a rosé. So at the end, I blended it. It's 30% Malbec, and it gave a little bit of like more structure and fruitiness to the wine. So I really like to put the Malbec on it, you know, which is not normal for a rosé wine. So we can do the same technique. In case of a rosé, we analyze how deep the rosé color is. I like light colored, like pink pale rosés in general. This is a dry wine. We tend to characterize the rosés to put them into the sweet wines category, and this is dry, completely dry. There's no residual sugar on it, so you can taste it. Let's see. So pale pink, as I said, then I don't smell anything from here, so I go to the chin. There's definitely aromas there, and there's a bunch of aromas here, no? I can feel lots of strawberry, raspberry, lots of lychee. I don't know if this is, again, my personal, I love lychee. Maybe some of you, if you haven't never tasted lychee, so it's you will say she's crazy, no? But I love lychee, so I can find it there. And there's also a little bit of apricot. Okay, so now let's taste it. Let's give it the first sip. Again, I clean my mouth and I go for the second one. And this rosé, as I said, it's very dry. You cannot, it has a lot of fruit, but it's dry, good acidity, very balanced. What is important to find in a wine is not to find things like covering each other, right? To find a balance between sweetness, acidity, alcohol, everything in balance, and not feel like too much alcohol. The alcohol level you can feel here specifically when you feel like it's more like hot, that it warms up your throat, then it's a higher alcohol wine, right? So in this case, these wines are very like medium is standard alcohol, like between 12.5 and 13 degrees of alcohol. And it's just like we say, an everyday easy, like easy to drink wine, really in a picnic or for an entry course at dinner. So it's very, very easy to pair with, you know, with food. Questions, no?
Just that this is great information, that you're very knowledgeable.
No, thank you.
And everybody was very much looking forward to your explanations and going through the process.
Oh, that's good. I hope I'm with over everybody's expectations. I'm happy to share. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the Cielo Tinto, which won gold medal, as I was saying, on the Sommelier's Choice Award 2020 in California. It's an important competition because this is an award that people in the industry, like people, owners, restaurant owners or hotel owners, they search in these type of competitions to see which wines have won prizes, so they would decide if buying them or not buying them. So I was really excited of getting this prize, just you know, like being my first batch as head winemaker here, no? So hopefully you like it. This is a Bordeaux blend. Why Bordeaux blend? A Bordeaux blend, it's mainly done by 6 different, could be done by 6 different grape varieties. In Bordeaux, we're allowed to produce only those 6 grapes for reds. As with the years, they've noticed that they are the best grown in that region. So there's a lot of like rules on what to grow there, how many tons per acre, like really particular rules, right? So this wine, it's made out of 4 of the grapes that we can grow in Bordeaux. So that's why we call it a Bordeaux blend. So every time you see that in a wine that it says Bordeaux blend, you can expect that it will be made out of any of those 6 grapes. That doesn't mean that it's going to be the 6 of them, but it could be maybe 2 of them or even 1 of them, no? But if it's Bordeaux blend, then it has to be more than 2, no? Or 2. So so let's go and see the wine. So in this case, I have one more thing to explain here. You can tilt your glass like this, again with your white background, and put your finger below the glass like this, okay? So if you get to see your finger very easily, it's a low intensity colored wine. Mm-hmm. If you can see it like more or less, then it's a medium colored intensity wine. And if you don't really see anything, it's a very high color intensity wine. In this case, I would say it's a medium low intensity, right? It's a very clear, light Bordeaux blend. So again, we don't see any sediments. The sediments are particles that we can find in case the wine has not been filtered or has been aging a while in the bottle. So the color and tannin molecules start to get together, so you can see some of those sediments. If you see those, that doesn't mean that it's going to be bad to drink them, but just when you see it, maybe it's not attractive. So that's why you could decant your wine in case you have sediments, right? But it's this wine, it's very young, no sediments, even though it has not been filtered, but it's very clear, okay? Now let's go to the aroma intensity. You bring it to your navel. I don't really smell much, but here I smell a lot. So I would say it's a medium high intensity, no? And then here, of course, I find a lot, I can find lots of fruit, even without cerealing yet, okay? You can find lots of fresh fruit like strawberries and blueberries, like purple berries. That's what I find. I can find some coffee. Again, this is my personal experience, okay? Everybody can find something else, and be sure, like, you can use your card or your aroma wheel to see what you get there, okay? Now swirl your glass and see what else you can find there. Normally, when you swirl your glass, you will find the tertiary aromas. What we call the tertiary aromas are aromas that you gain when you age the wine in the barrel, okay? So what the barrels gives us a little bit more of like vanilla or chocolate or buttery aromas. So in this one, I definitely have some chocolate, like dark chocolate. This has been aged for 8 months in French oak before being bottled, okay? Neutral oak. So now we can go to taste. Now there's something else that we can analyze on a red wine, tannins, okay? Tannins is this feeling of like dryness in your mouth, but not only dryness as with a white or a rosé that you just feel you don't have like much fruity or like sugar, but specifically in your lips, inside your lips is where you feel this dryness. Those are the tannins. But if you feel that dryness, as if it's a type of dryness as if you like bite a fruit that it's not ripened enough, or yeah, like a banana when it's not ripened enough, you would feel that harshness in your lips, right? We in a red wine, we want to feel that dryness a little bit, but like soft, not aggressive or harsh tannins, right? We want to feel everything, it's very integrated. So in this case, I did my full effort to feel that on this wine. So I definitely have these tannins, but it's not aggressive. It's very subtle. It's a very light red wine. It's very easy to drink, very easy to pair with food also. Maybe not with food that it's very oily, like thick steaks, but something like in the middle. With pizza, it goes very well. It goes very well with Italian food in general. Even with a cheese board, with manchego, Spanish manchego, it goes super well, no? Or with chocolate mousse, or yeah, chocolate cake, like dark chocolate cake. This is delicious. So about the finish, that's something I didn't mention before. You can see if it's short, long, medium, very long. In this wine, in particular, you can analyze if it's short or long by if it stays here in your mouth and you can kind of like keep chewing it or savoring it more than 15 seconds, I would call it's a medium to long finish. Okay, so you can go from there. If you don't have it, it doesn't stay that long, then it's a lower finish, okay? Or shorter finish. So I think that's all from me. The fifth step, I would say, is just enjoy the wine and don't think about it and just keep keep tasting, no?
That was awesome. And I think that the participants will really get a lot out of your description, especially smelling the wine, you know, at navel, below the chin, and above. That's something that I had never heard of, so I really appreciate that. We do have a couple of questions.
Okay.
And this is the age-old question, like what came first, the chicken or the egg?
Okay.
What makes a wine go with fish versus going with beef or chicken?
Okay. So I would say like a general rule or general, it's not a rule, a general idea, and it's because we just tasted and it's whites are lighter, and so the fish is not a strong flavor in general as if it was with meat. So a lighter wine with fish would be better, right? Like whites or roses. And red because of the tannins and the structure, and it will go with something more oily or these like strong steaks. Or I would say like actually for these three wines are very easy to pair with even fish, the red, no? And this is mainly because of the structure. This wine, the red wine, it's very, even though it's red, it's very light, and it's not like you can do your pairings and try it out, no? But it's not strong enough to cover maybe a fish with some like a bacalao. I don't know if someone speaks Spanish. Bacalao, it's a type of fish, the Portugal type. Well, but it's a strong flavor fish that it goes, I would say, work perfect with this red wine, no? So I would say do not go, if you want to, like, don't get it wrong. If you're in a restaurant and you want to be sure and you are eating fish, then you go with a white or rosé. But if you want to just play with it and see, like, oh, just ask if it's a strong flavor red or strong tannins, or if it's a light. And if it's a light, like you can try it out and see with a fish or a chicken, no? Normally a good wine to start to pair with fish or chicken or even salads, it's a Pinot Noir. Pinot Noir, it's a very light tannin, easy to drink red wine in general. Burgundy Pinot Noir, for example.
Thank you. Somebody asks, what year is better?
What?
Oh, this is actually a convoluted question because it keeps on going. How long does... they were asking about what year is better, and do you have any kosher wines?
We don't have any kosher wines. What year is better in terms of the wines I already produced, or?
It says what year is better, and that was also what wines go with the meat or fish.
Oh, okay. So I guess it's about what year is better in terms of what could make a better quality wine. We want to have years which are balanced. Not too much of anything, right? Not too much of showers or rain, because we want the sunny days. We want warmer days in order for the fruit to gain more sugar. So, for instance, more alcohol and better structure. So we want sunny days, but also not sunny days like 1 month in a row. We want few showers, so the vine keeps hydrated. The vineyard or the vines are a plant that needs to be a little bit stressed in terms of like make it suffer a little bit in terms of not giving some water, so it uses all the energy to give to the fruit, so you have everything more concentrated, but at the same time you don't want to make it suffer, so you need a little bit of water, no? For instance, 2018, my first vintage year, was crazy rain, struggle a lot to gain the grapes to ripen enough because we didn't have enough hours of sun. So the more sun, the more sugars, and again, the more structure, right? In 2018, I struggled with that a lot. All the ripening season was raining so much. So you can see actually in 2018 wines, my red wines, that it's a very light color. If you taste my Cabernet Franc or my Pinot Noir, you would see there are like you would say even that it's a darker rosé, because I didn't want to intervene much in the winemaking process, so not to correct anything. And what I gained was just a very light color. Color is also developed with the ripening, so more hours of sun, stronger colors you can get also. So in this case, you can see 2018 was very difficult year, so lighter color, but that doesn't mean bad, right? And then for the 2019, which was great, so much sun, balanced rain, it went well, very nice. So we have actually a very different red in terms of color and maybe bolder structure.
Okay, we have time for one or two more questions. How do the wines have tastes of chocolate or fruits like apricot if those ingredients are not actually in the wine?
Yeah, so this is more about the grape itself has some molecules that make specific aromas there. And then with the fermentation process, a chemical process that develops also certain type of aromas. This is not that we add all of those, but it's been proved with science, and just that we all agree in the wine industry, and that you can find those type of aromas in certain grape varieties. You can even go to the vineyard and taste it. And for example, the Cabernet Sauvignon, it's very easy. You can find right away like some peppery aromas when the grape is ripening, no? So so it's not that we add those, but those aromas are gained during the process. Some aromas come from the fruit, the primary aromas, secondary aromas from the fermentation process, and then the tertiary aromas in the aging in the barrel.
Actually, that's pretty fascinating, the chemistry of this. And somebody asked about cooking wine.
Okay.
They didn't say anything other than cooking wine?
Cooking wine, okay. You know, I would use, let's say you drink and you enjoy your Chardonnay today, this one, and you like it, and you just don't finish it. You could use it to cook, and maybe your dish will taste better, no? Or you can use just a cheap wine to cook if you don't want to drink the bottle, and or if it's the main purpose is just to cook, no? So I wouldn't say there's rules for that.
Okay, let's see if there's anything else we could. What is the potential for Long Island wines to compete with Bordeaux or California? You won a gold medal. Does that mean our vines are mature enough, the climate, the winemaking good enough?
Mm-hmm. So I really, you know, I wouldn't compare our wines with any region. I would say we have particular characteristics here. For instance, I cannot compare this Bordeaux Blend, even though it's a Bordeaux Blend because I explained about the grape varieties, but nothing to do with Bordeaux in terms of like you taste a Bordeaux wine and it's just bolder and stronger tannins and just much more than this, right? But you can find maybe similar aromas, but it's it's a Long Island red wine, no? Long Island red Bordeaux, Bordeaux Blend. I think that we could compete even with this type of reds or with whites. I think it's a very good region for white wines. I taste very nice whites, and I'm just excited every year to produce whites in general. With reds, it's, as I said, it's more complicated because we need more time to get the grape ripened, no? Mm-hmm.
And how is this year shaping up with the weather that we've had here? Lots of heat.
Yeah, well, it's looking good so far. I just harvested our Pinot Noir. Pinot Noir is a difficult grape. So too much rain or too much humidity creates lots of diseases. So we want to harvest that early. It's looking good so far. Beautiful bunches. These days, like sunny days, dry days are perfect. So we want more of these. And hopefully it stays like this. Just a little bit more like warmer would be nice. But it's looking good so far, looking nice, yeah.
So really appreciated your energy, being a young woman, getting all of this done. I'd like to send kudos to you. Somebody asked about a wine club, and if you go onto RGNY's website, you can sign up for the wine club. And just to let everybody know, thank you for all participating in the Foodie Tour and in this How to Taste Wine Like a Pro with Lilia Perez from RGNY. And follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Today is the launch of a year-long event. We'll be adding content throughout the year and into 2021. We appreciate it. Donations gratefully accepted. And again, Lilia, thank you for your time and for your expertise. And I'm coming out today to buy some more wine.
Yay, thank you. Thank you, and have a good day, everybody. Hopefully you can visit us in the vineyard. Yeah?
Absolutely, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.